By the end of this video, you'll know which silhouettes look best on your body. I've spent the last few years learning which clothes look best on different kinds of bodies, as well as learning dozens of different style systems, and I think each of them have something missing. Underneath all of these different style systems, I have discovered that there are 3 core principles for dressing for your body type, and I've created a framework to represent these principles, which I'm calling the body matrix. My name is Ellie-Jean, I'm a style analyst, and on this channel, we find our style by finding ourselves. There are 3 dichotomies to any outfit and any body: wide versus narrow, short versus long, round versus straight. And for each of these, you can fall at either end or somewhere in the middle. The idea is that you echo your features in your clothing. So if you had width in your frame, you would wear clothing with wide shapes. The body matrix looks like this. So we have width, length, and shape, and the idea is that you'd pick one option from each of the rows. So for example, for me, I would consider myself narrow, short, and round. The idea is that you choose the option which most strongly resonates with your body. So rather than getting caught up in, do I have narrow shoulders? Do I have wide hips? Do I have long arms? You can use those to help you find the overall feel of your frame. So for example, this is the body matrix quiz, or it's kind of laid out like a table, and you'd go through each of these features of your body and put a word to them. Shoulders, I would say mine are very narrow. I would say they're quite short and they're very round. My arms, I would say my arms are quite long and they're quite round. My legs, again, are narrow. I'd say my legs kind of medium, and the shape is a bit round, and have quite small hands. So maybe I should put medium there. I would say I have quite straight hands. My feet are very narrow, very small, and again, quite straight. Chest, I would say, is narrow. The length is short and round. Hips, I would say, are medium. So now I have this table filled out, and the idea is that you'd use this as a guide for what you are overall. So for example, you can see that I'm definitely narrow, and the shape, I'm mostly rounded. I kind of vary between short and medium, but because I have quite a few shorts, I'm gonna go with short rather than medium. I feel like to have medium, you should be absolutely majority medium. I feel like you're going to be better honored by the extremes of clothes that are slightly there in your features. Try not to think about measurements, try and look at your own proportions. I really recommend doing the line drawing exercise. So taking a photograph of your body straight on and drawing an outline around your shoulders and around your chest and your hips down to your knees. And this will create a more objective view of your body that you can then judge without feeling like you don't know. It's really hard to look at your body. It's not necessarily about your measurements or your percentages, it's about the feel of your entire frame. So now you'll have a group of 3 of your dominant features, and there are 27 different combinations, from narrow, short, and round to wide, long, and straight. There are loads of different combinations, and you'll notice that some of these do correspond with other style systems you might have seen, like QB body types, but the idea is to make it more simple, more intuitive, and note that these principles go through loads of different style systems. So your width corresponds with your necklines, your sleeves, your cuffs, and your accessories. Your length corresponds to the length of an outfit or a piece and the size of an item or a pattern. The shape corresponds with the silhouette and the shape. So the silhouette of the pieces on your frame and the shape of things like patterns and accessories. So some key words for each of the features. So for wide, you want to look for things which are open, wide, and potentially thick. So for example, if a thick bangle would be better for you than a very thin one. For narrow frames, you want closed, narrow, and thin lines. So for example, a thin ring band rather than a thick, chunky ring band. For long, you want long lines and large shapes. For short, you want short lines and small shapes. If you're round, you want round, soft, and circular shapes and fabrics. And if you're straight, you want straight, stiff, structured, and geometric fabrics and silhouettes. So for example, I thought we would look at wide, long, and round to see how this would apply. So for necklines, they have width, so they would want open necklines, wide sleeves, flared legs, or like a flared skirt. They would want flowing fabrics because flowing loose shapes are best for width. Also for width, they would want chunky accessories, so a wide bangle, potentially a wide belt. And then for their length, they would want very long lines. So they would want long sleeves, long trousers, long jackets, long coats. And then for their round shapes, they would want a very defined waist. They would want some roundness in around their hips that goes down towards their knees. They would want a round neckline and soft fabrics and round patterns. Let's look at one more. So another combination that I thought would be really helpful in this system would be wide, short, and straight. So this type would also have open necklines, wide sleeves, wide leg, but they would have more straight and structured fabrics. They would also have more geometric patterns, and the lines would be short. So rather than wearing long flowy trousers, they would wear above the ankle, slightly flared cropped trousers and more boxy tops with open necklines and open sleeves. The reason this came to me, it came to me at 5:30 in the morning. I had to write it down as I was thinking about Kibbe body types, and I was thinking about types of bodies which some people feel aren't represented in his system. This framework that I've come up with for finding your best lines is not so vibe-based as Kibbe's system. Kibbe's system is very great if you want to find your aesthetic and your silhouettes, whereas I want this to be more of like a silhouette-focused system of like a real mathematical, these are your shapes and these are your lines. But for example, I've noticed that a lot of women who are wide, curvy, and long feel that they don't know whether they're a soft dramatic or a flamboyant natural and kind of have to ultimately choose which one feels right. And although that's great, I think it would also be good to have some more obvious recommendations for those who have width, curve and length in their frame. And I can't say that none of these principles have been put in place before. Like I say, the idea of dressing wide for your width, round for your roundness, these are fairly standard principles in dressing, but hopefully this framework of the matrix makes this more easy for you to understand and to put it into place in your own wardrobe. And I'd just like to be clear, just like with Kibbe and other style systems or frameworks, none of these words relate to weight. You want to think about your proportions and your bone structure rather than your weight. You can be narrow or wide and be plus size. You can be straight or round and be plus size, and gaining weight doesn't inherently change your shape. Now, some style systems like Kibbe body types, your type will remain the same as you gain and lose weight. Whereas in this, I think some people do become more rounded as they gain weight. Some people become straighter. So for example, some people lose their waist definition. Some people gain weight in the chest and hips, whereas before they had a straighter frame. So although I think that your best lines might change as you gain or lose weight, there aren't certain words that are associated with weight gain because everybody gains weight in different ways and it changes their body in different ways. If you want help with your body matrix result, I am now going to be including this in my features analysis. In the features analysis, you get my recommendation on Kibbe body type, essence, color season, all from my perspective and from what I see, and the lines that I think would work best for you. So also in the body section now, I'm going to be including your body matrix result and your best lines to do with your body matrix. If that isn't for you, I really want to recommend the new Style Scholars community, which I have launched. Each week I host a live stream and that's either a workshop, a Q&A or a case study, so someone can actually come and work with me one-on-one in front of everybody else and we can work out your body type, color season, etc. As kind of like a group activity. So I do a live stream every single week. I also provide weekly Notion resources as well as any kind of thoughts I'm having. You guys will be the first to see it, and I really want this to be a really quality community. I don't just want this to be a tipping service. I really want to be providing you with as much value as possible and have it be a really intimate space. So make sure to check that out. It's £5 a month. I really want it to be as affordable as possible. I've seen communities with this level of input go for £50 a month. So I really want this to be as helpful and as accessible to as many of you as possible and get to know you guys. So the link to that is in the description. If you like this video, I really think you'll enjoy my video where I break down my style root system, which is all about how to dress for who you are underneath and combining your 3 different roots to create a more authentic and simple, streamlined style. So make sure to check that out. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.